Welcome back to the Licensing Subcommittee decision, Wednesday the 29th of October 2025, in the matter of Licensing Act 2003, application for review of a premises licence, the Casa Flamenca 22 to 23, the Boardwalk, Portsmouth, PO6 4TP. All parties shall receive written confirmation of the decision and reasons. Decision. The subcommittee has considered very carefully the application for review of a premises licence at the Casa Flamenca restaurant. It gave due regard to the Licensing Act 2003, the licensing objectives, statutory guidance and the adopted statement of licensing policy. The subcommittee considered the relevant representations, both written and given orally at the hearing by all parties. Human rights legislation and the public sector equality duty has been borne in mind whilst making the decision. The subcommittee noted that the application was made by the Home Office, citing the prevention of crime and disorder as the relevant licensing objective. The issues raised relate to the use of the premises for the employment of 2 illegal workers. Due to the threshold limits, only 1 worker was the subject of a penalty. Employing illegal workers undermines other businesses operating properly. Reviews are not routinely sought by the Home Office, and the non-payment of the fine to date was an aggravating factor. It is easy to check on worker status. Statutory guidance made it clear that revocation should be seriously considered even in the first instance. The police had submitted a representation supporting the Home Office request for revocation of the premises licence, and on the basis of the prevention of crime and disorder. The licensing objectives had been breached and undermined for personal gain, and there was no confidence that any other measure than revocation could address the risks to the licensing objectives. Mitigating circumstances were outlined on behalf of the premises licence holder, with it being stressed that those now responsible for running the premises have traded for effectively a year without incident. After hearing all the above evidence and considering all of the options set out within the legislation, ranging from taking no action to revocation of the premises, the subcommittee determined that the premises should be suspended for 1 month. The DPS should also be removed from the licence. Reasons. Amongst arguments raised for the premises licence holder, the following were stated: that those running the premises are fully aware of the seriousness of the situation and the implications. The premises has been run for 6 years under the current management and have only come to the attention of authorities in relation to this one instance. The premises has already been punished by way of £40,000 fine. The case against the alleged second illegal worker was dropped, and accordingly only 1 illegal worker should be taken into account. The illegal worker was family of the manager on a tourist visa and had return flights booked. CCTV issues at the premises were rectified and noted by the licensing officer shortly after, and the visit was during a busy night, and it was admitted that the manager wanted the incident over as soon as possible, and for this reason CCTV was not provided. Non-compliance was not intentional or premeditated, but aroused from attempts to assist during busy periods. These are unusual circumstances and at the lower end of the scale of this type of issue. Training of staff has now been implemented, and the proposed DPS has obtained a personal licence along with another member of staff. Right to work checks are now in place. The premises licence and DPS shall be transferred, condition offered. The passage of time since the issue is significant in this case. Suspension of alcohol sales would be punitive, as it accounts to 45% of turnover, and the subcommittee considered carefully all the points raised for the premises licence holder. It is unusual that the premises licence holder is not present for the hearing, and it was accepted has been absent from the management of the premises since it ceased to be an Indian restaurant around 6 years ago. This lack of management and very unclear matrix of ownership and responsibility for the premises is of real concern to the subcommittee. The premises licence holder remains responsible for the premises and licensing activities at the premises, and the lack of involvement tended to endorse the revocation of the licence in this instance. It must be made absolutely clear that the subcommittee indeed came very close to revoking the licence in this case, and the guidance clearly supports this approach, and both the police and Home Office requested this step due to the lack of confidence that any other step could address the issues. However, on the balance, and given the mitigation outlined, and in particular the length of time since nearly a year of trading without issue, it was considered more appropriate and proportionate to impose a suspension. The financial impact of the suspension imposed was considered very carefully in accordance with paragraph 11.23 of the guidance, particularly given the time of year and the lead up to the festive period. However, it is important that there to be a deterrent to prevent such issues occurring again and to allow time for the new DPS to be appointed and licence transfer to be effected. The subcommittee expects a far clearer ownership and the management structure moving forward, and accepted legal advice given at the conclusion of the hearing that a condition requiring the appointment of a new DPS and transfer of the licence would pose difficulties, as these are separate processes and the condition may be difficult to enforce. Accordingly, the subcommittee decided to remove the DPS, which will require prompt action to arrange a replacement. There is a right of appeal for all parties to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days of formal notification of the decision, and the decision has no effect until the expiry of the appeal period, or if lodged, the determination of any appeal. Thank you, and that's the close of today's subcommittee.